It's a beautiful thing.
We in 6 countries. That's
yes.
What I mean. So that's the thing that stands out to me.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. We love y'all.
Yes, thank y'all for listening.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the channel. I'm Coach Deb, representing one half of the Healing Corner podcast. If you're interested in booking a consultation as well as service or a reading, go ahead and check me out at debshealingcornerstone.com.
I'm Coach Yams, owner of Healing is Work Coaching, and I help millennial professional women to live on purpose unapologetically and to help them to stop doing shit out of obligation. If you need help with that, reach out to me, Coach Yams, YAMZ.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Healing Corner podcast. I'm Coach Deb here with the Healing Corner podcast. I also have Coach Yams here with me, and we have a special guest with us today here. She actually is an entrepreneur, so she does multiple things, but she is the founder of Splash Swimwear Collections. So she's going to be here to talk about a little bit of branding and how to put yourself out there on the internet and get your presence seen for those that are entrepreneurs that like to do networking and things of that sort. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and kind of talk about what she does and explain to us how she got there. So Jade.
Hi, my name is Jay Iman, and I am the owner of Splash Swimwear Collection, where summer never ends. I am an entrepreneur, and I am a businesswoman. I am a conversationalist, and I am just finding myself and growing and glowing through this entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, and so Jade, when it comes to how many years you've been doing this and how did it start? How did your evolution start? Where did you start at? And then how did it get to this point right now?
So I started Splash in about 2018. I was just ready to get ready and go off to college. I'm young and just eager and excited for life, just, kind of thing. And I was getting ready to go on a mini vacation. I had been searching for some swimwear, and I just was not liking what I was seeing. And to be transparent, I was 18. I'm okay, I can wear cuter stuff now, and it was one of those type of things I can wear cuter swimwear now, and just feeling I wanted to start finding myself kind of thing. And I was not pleased with the swimwear that I was finding, so I was what if I do this? And I don't know, literally since then I immediately dived in. I started looking for vendors and manufacturers, and I created a Instagram, and I found a bunch of other different products and stuff that I wanted to include in my business, and things kind of just took off from there. And here I am now. I'm 24. I am still growing with Splash. We have been through a lot, we've been through a lot. Like I said, my business is kind of like my baby. We've done a lot. I've seen a lot of ideas that I've had come to fruition just through my imagination, honestly, and just creative process. And I've been able to come and create some amazing things, and I'm really proud of that. So, yeah.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What has been the most challenging part of entrepreneurship for you so far? And what have you learned from it?
I feel the biggest challenge so far has been, honestly, me being in my own way, being nervous or being scared to be perceived or to fail. Honestly, like I said, I started this when I was like 18, 19, something like that. So I felt like I was nervous and just, not wanting to like always take the full step, kind of like straddling the fence a little bit. Especially because during the time I started my brand, I was still in school. So honestly, I would use school a lot as like a crutch, kind of in a sense. And just like not wanting to fully put myself out there or not wanting to fully like market myself. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but one of the biggest challenges is me like really being okay with like marketing and putting myself out there, and not always wanting to be so perfect for everyone and everything, especially in terms of my brand and like just, being open to the public and like I said, people perceiving me and my brand. My biggest challenge has, like I said, just definitely being perceived and wanting to put myself fully out there.
So the question that I have for you when it comes to pertaining to your swimwear, do you actually put the pieces together? Like, do you get your supplies from like it's just material and then you put it together, or do you actually buy the pieces of the swimwear and then just put like designs on it? How does it work for you? What does it look like in the background?
Okay, so the background process of production has changed a couple times for me. Honestly, I started off wholesale for a little while, especially when I was in undergrad. Like I said, just not having the time. Those first couple of years, everything was wholesale, so just going directly through vendors and manufacturers, getting those products. And then I would literally I would go through like different catalogs, I would go through different vendors, and I would select the inventory that I wanted. I would literally select sunglasses, cover-ups, the swimwear, what sizes that I'm looking for and stuff like that. And then now I am at the point now where I am making pieces. I have custom pieces that I make. I go directly through a personal manufacturer, so I just create my sketches and all of that stuff. I select my fabrics, colors, and then I send all of that stuff over to them. And yeah, they kind of like manufacture everything, and so that I am not, hand sewing like 70 swimsuits one by one. Like that would take a lot of time. That would take so much of my time. So I'm doing that, but I'm also teaching myself to create swimwear myself. So my next step is I'll be doing both, but now I am working personally with a manufacturing team, and my swimwear sets are custom, but they're just made by like a manufacturing team. But yeah, I really like that because it gives me way more of like a creative direction where I can literally come up with whatever it is that I want. Like any ideas that I have, I can send them to them. I like the process though. Honestly, I love it. I like it kind of reminds me of like scrapbooking in a way. I'll go through like different inspiration pictures. Oh, I'll cut this or edit that. I want this part. And then I'll send it over. And then when I'm like talking or presenting my sketches, it's like, this is the layout of like what I have. I want this top with these bottoms, but I want this side from that swimsuit. And then I want this color with that. Like, I enjoy that. So, yeah. And then, like I said, I've currently been learning how to like sew on my own. So I am hand making swimsuits as well now.
I had a follow-up question to this
Mm-hmm.
because it sounds joyful to be able to have such creative freedom, right? But I know that oftentimes, myself included in this entrepreneurial space, I find myself getting overwhelmed with having so much choice. Have you ever found yourself in a space where too many options was like, I don't know what to do here?
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, it happens so much more often than people would think. Definitely I have a collection that I'm working on right now, and I am a little overwhelmed because it was like, at first I had like an idea of like what I was going for, but now I'm just finding more and more stuff that I like. So it's like, I don't want to make things like too chaotic, or, sometimes too much is too much. So I don't want to like overdo it. So it does get very overwhelming, but it kind of also just gives me the space to think like, okay, I can use this design at a later time. So I kind of feel like I have like a vault of things that I can like browse through when I'm ready for something else, because I've just kind of like saved those ideas, or I saved those like concepts and stuff, so that they're not lost, like I do want to be able to use them at some point, but just making sure that I'm not like mixing too much or doing too much like with one collection. But it does get very overwhelming, especially because like I'm a person, sometimes I'm a little indecisive, and that is sometimes not the best in entrepreneurship. So it does get very overwhelming though, just having way too many options.
Yeah. And the thing that I think that has helped me be able to navigate it, because it's always like, well, what do you do in those moments? The thing that has really helped me is I step back and I say, okay, how can I simplify this?
Yes.
How can I just
Yeah.
make this easier to just get it done? Because I have done this torture to myself for too long.
For too long, yes.
Yeah.
At some point, it really does click like, okay, you've been brainstorming way too long, or you're still piecing stuff together way too long. Like, kind of just got to make a decision and go with it. And like I said, that's why I kind of like to like save the other ideas that I have. So it's like, I can go back to them. I can still bring those to life at some point.
So I wanted to ask, since you have been doing this since you were 18, have you delegated anything? Do you have help, or do you have any workers that work with you?
Honestly, I don't have like a full team yet. I have like I said, people that I've cross network with that will help me. I've been blessed to, have a community that are willing to help me. So that's pretty much it right now. I don't have like a fully delegated team that is like helping me with stuff. It's still mainly me, but I do get the help that I need from like my network.
I like that. I mean, because once you build something, when you build it very strong and firm, sometimes it takes a while to get to that point. Because
Yeah.
I'm still kind of focusing on that too myself.
Yeah.
That's why I asked
Yeah.
about that. So that's really cool.
That's always my biggest like thing though. I always want to know like people who have like teams and stuff, like how do you go about selecting? How do you go about like picking the right team? Because the right team will really make or break your vision. It's so important. It's so important. That's why I said like I do have a preference to work with people that I can cross network with, because I feel like we're on a similar wavelength, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then to get into the branding of it all, my question for you would be, what does branding mean? And like, what does it mean to you? And so how do you show up for your brand?
Branding is basically the basis of like how you will sell your product. It is what your brand is. It is creating an identity, a name, a vision, an image for your company or your product, so that people know you guys, kind of in a sense. Branding is super important to entrepreneurship, especially now, like in 2024, with everything being so social media driven. branding is super important. Being able to like market yourself and just being able to have, I feel like branding goes along with having something for people to follow along with, you know, or having some type of identity or community to identify with, you know. So I feel like all of those things kind of go into marketing, and I think is helpful. Branding and marketing is so important. It's always been important. It's literally been at the forefront of just capitalism, kind of, in a sense, just, you know, being able to have buyers and consumers. Honestly, branding has been at the forefront of all of that for years. I feel like it's just magnified now.
So when it comes to branding, do you find like there's, I know that you do e-commerce, so mostly your branding is done online. Is there a certain platform that you feel is more open to the style that you're presenting versus another platform, or do you find any challenges when it comes to that?
I feel like mainly like Instagram and TikTok would be like the most prominent ones for what it is that I do, and having like being able to like maintain an audience, because those are platforms that are, I feel like they go a lot into like professional and personal. Like those are platforms, I'm sorry. Those are platforms that they kind of emphasize on the user's like personal and professional life. So you are able to like have a good balance on both, you know. Like I said, branding and just being able to like put myself out there, present myself. These platforms have definitely helped because people are able to see personally like who I am, the type of things that I'm into, while also being able to see like the things that I like to do professionally and what works for my brand. And you know, me like you're able to watch the process of me building a brand while also still being like a real person, kind of thing. So I feel like those two platforms are really good for that.
And I had one question that I was going to ask, but I want to ask this other one first. Have you found there to be any issues as a person of color on social media where you feel like your content is getting lost in the algorithm, and how are you navigating that?
I do, honestly. I do feel like as an African American content creator, it definitely is a little hard. Our content is often shadow banned or lost in the algorithm, etc., because people are. I don't know why. I'm not gonna give an answer for that. But what I was saying was, I do think that the algorithms and the way that algorithms are pushed onto people's like timelines and stuff, it has changed a lot. I feel like the rules are continuously changing, if that makes sense. So I feel like as social media is becoming more focused or more saturated with like African American content creators and them actually doing very well in these fields, I definitely feel like the algorithm and how you're able to get your information line is changed a lot. Some ways that I'm able to like navigate that is I like to go through different pages and stuff like that. There are certain people on Instagram who kind of like specialize in their pages specifically for like navigating these different hacks or navigating the algorithm and just being able to keep up with the trends and the changes of it. So I definitely try to make sure that I'm always up to date on like different changes within the algorithm. So if they say, for example, like more videos, less pictures, or vice versa, more pictures, less videos, posting earlier in the day, later at night, posting multiple times a day, story posts versus feed posts, comments versus shares, stuff like that. I do try to make sure I am up to date on all of those updates always. And I do fall short sometimes. I'm imperfect. So when I do miss out on those things, I definitely just try to make sure that I'm still posting. I'm still posting in some kind of way. Even if it's on my personal page, I'll post something, tag my business page, etc. I'll have like more of my friends, if I can, I'll have more of my friends share my stories, stuff like that, just to kind of get like a little bit more traction from different profiles. I definitely do try to make sure that I'm up to date and actively working with the algorithm when it's working against me.
So it sounds like you're working with the algorithm to the best of your ability
Yes.
by staying up to date with what other people are doing, because this is the stuff that there are people out here that will keep up with this stuff because that's their
Niche.
zone
Yeah,
of
that's kind of like
genius,
their
if you
niche.
will. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so why recreate the wheel when you can just borrow the information that is readily available by people who love doing this?
Yes.
And then I love how you incorporate tapping into your network, because I think that one of the things that is really important for us to remember as entrepreneurs, oftentimes like we'll do the blast saying, hey, we've started a thing, and then that's it.
Yeah.
People are not thinking about you and your business and anything that you got going on. People are in their own world, living their own lives, caught up in their own life.
Yes.
And so you have to remind people, and friends and family and extended network are oftentimes very willing to support you, but you have to be willing to make that ask. So I just wanted to like say that.
No, that's very true. That I feel like
Yeah.
you made a really good point. Especially because as an entrepreneur myself, like I said, I don't want to sit here and talk and just make it seem like I always have it together. I fall short. I'm not always the best entrepreneur that I can be. Even though that is my goal, reality does set in sometimes. Real life happens sometimes, you get defeated, you get discouraged. So I definitely understand that sometimes like I said, I've been in my own way before. There's been times where I don't per se want to ask, or I don't per se want to send over new posts that I've made to my friends and say like, oh, hey guys, look at this. Like, how does this look? And it'll be more so for critiques and criticism for myself, but also it is still putting that product or putting my business in front of them, just kind of letting them know that like this is a real thing, this is something that I'm serious about, and I need you guys to help me make this thing a thing. I don't believe that any great thing is built by one person. Definitely I try to utilize my network. I really do. I try to utilize my network as much as possible. I know sometimes they're probably sick of me, but hey, when we get big, y'all won't be tired.
And the other foundational thing that I think is important to like iterate in this moment is that it sounds like branding, and this is something that I've heard from other places.
Mm-hmm.
Branding like the foundation of it is authenticity. It's got to come from an authentic place, because people are going to know when you're faking it. Yeah. And people need to know that you are just a person. Yeah. And so showing up with the expectation of being perfect when no one is perfect is an unfair thing to do to yourself.
Yes.
And so remembering that we are authentically whoever we are, however we show up at any given point in any given day, but the path that you're choosing to walk and how you're choosing to show up is what will speak and be remembered about your brand. Deb, I know I cut you. I unmuted before you unmuted, so you go ahead and do your thing.
Oh, you okay, James? So I was going to talk a little bit more, or I wanted her to expound a little bit more about networking, like when it comes to online networking and offline networking. How does that look like for your brand?
So for my brand, honestly, like I said, my brand is me. So starting this while I was in college, I do feel like I kind of got like a little bit of a cheat code because with me going to school, I did go to a really small school. I did have I had really great connections and ties within like the African American community in my school because I did go to a PWI. So I did just kind of utilize my network within the African American community there. And my business was a really big hit in my school. It was. And then I'm also in a sorority, so just being able to utilize my network within that. I have profiles, I have line sisters, all type of stuff. So just being able to like get support from them and, just going to different events and bringing my products or them being able to mention my name in rooms or in situations that I'm not present and being able to advocate for me. That has also been a network. Honestly, that kind of ties into like the in-person, but as well as online, just putting myself out there. Just even when I'm branding or like presenting my personal self, like I said, if I go out or I go to a party or something, if I may not have on swimwear, but I have on my sunglasses. And, if somebody asks, oh, those glasses are really cute, where did you get them from? They're mine. So it's like it's still branding in a sense that way. And then like I go to networking events, stuff like that, especially because I am not from the place that I live in. So I have only been in this state for about 2 years or so. That's still very, very, very fresh. So just going to networking events, trying to connect with other business owners, and stuff like that. It's really just kind of taught me to put myself out there. People are gonna like me, they're not, even if they do or they don't. People can respect a good product. So I definitely try to utilize my network online, and offline. I try to maintain good relationships and good rapport with people. I do great business so that I have a good reputation. I think all of those things really matter into networking.
Okay, well, we have a few more minutes. Yams, did you have another question or anything?
I don't have another question, but I will add to Jay's point that one of the things that is an acronym that sticks out in my mind when it comes to networking is the factor of know, like, and trust. People do business with people that they know, that they like, and that they trust. And I think that there was I go to classes to learn how to do things better. A networking class, and it talked about know, like, trust, and I think remember was one that they added onto the back of it. And so with networking, like, yes, wearing your own products and plugging that in when you're out somewhere is a great way to expand your reach. And yeah, that's all I got. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank
And I
you.
would love for you to tell people where they can like get their hands on your products
Yes.
and find out more about you.
Yes, so I will plug in like all of my social media handles. You guys can find me on Instagram at _swimwear collection. My website is splashswimwearcollection.com, and I have TikTok. We are on TikTok. The splash_bay. Yeah, you can follow all of my social medias. Interact with me, talk to me. I am a regular person. Yeah, so I love to present myself as one. I love for people to know that like I'm just a regular girl. I'm just creating my dream. That's all. So yeah, you can follow me, talk to me. Next time you get ready to go on vacation, make sure you stop.
Well, thank you so much, Jay. We definitely
Yes.
appreciate you showing up
Thank you
and
so much.
giving us that information. So we are going to go ahead and close this out. We will have in the description box more information, like some links and stuff, you guys. So make sure you check out the description box below. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all share the video as well, because this could be something that someone else might want to do and they could get some pointers or anything from this. So definitely share. But until next time, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.